Howdy! Hi guys. I know it's a little late today, but yeah, that's just the way it is. I wanted to make sure and go live because I am leaving tomorrow to go out of the country and for like 9 days. So I'm not really sure what it'll be like over there, if I'll be able to go live or not, but I hope I can. But just in case, I wanted to make sure and do this tonight, and I've got a couple little tidbits for you guys. And hello. So we're gonna go over, again, I've got the links below for the things that we're gonna go over. Oh, there's a link I forgot to put down there. Oh well, I'll give it to you guys in a minute. A couple things about Epstein, some stuff about Planned Parenthood. We've got some news about the Google whistleblower, and then a couple just other little things. So the first thing was, more stuff is coming out about the Epstein being linked to more people, and it's looking like a lot more people. So Ghislaine Maxwell, her lawyer, says that there are hundreds of names contained in this data dump, or basically these records that were held over from the 2015 defamation suit from Virginia Giuffre, who was one of her victims. And there was just a bunch of sealed records, and now they are possibly getting unsealed, maybe slowly but surely. So there's an anonymous man now being called John Doe that is terrified about these documents that are going to come out. I think one of them at least is an address book with at least 1,000 names in it. Yeah, so it stems from the 2015 defamation lawsuit. That's right. Okay, so an anonymous man has come out, and he's having his attorneys, basically, he's named in the papers, and he's begging the judge not to release his name and the identities of the others accused because it could tarnish their reputations. So a letter from a previous judge summarized these documents as being a, quote, range of allegations of sexual acts involving plaintiff and non-parties to this litigation, some famous, some not. The identities of non-parties who either allegedly engaged in sexual acts with plaintiff or who actually facilitated such acts. So again, that was from the 2015 defamation suit, where Virginia Giuffre basically had accused Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell of recruiting her to be a sex slave, basically. And then when Ghislaine Maxwell said that she was full of SH, this woman sued her, and it settled in 2017. So that's where these documents are coming from. So I don't know who this a-hole John Doe is, if he's famous or not, or how he's implicated, but even if you're innocent in this and your name is somehow tied in with all of these people, you need to just kind of like take a bullet for the rest of the, I mean, you're either guilty or you're not, and I guess you just kind of have to trust in the system that if your name gets released, that you'll have your day in court to get to defend yourself. But if not, if you're literally fighting for them to keep this information back, then you are protecting evil people. So that sucks. Exactly, we have a sex offender registry list for a reason. People deserve to know who is implicated here, and we deserve, the victims especially deserve justice for what these people have done to them. So I am not on the side of John Doe. I think all of this stuff needs to be exposed, and rapidly. So then we've got Planned Parenthood selling baby parts. I know a lot of us have seen the videos from, it's been a few years, I think, since they were released. But basically, this guy got undercover videos of people that worked for Planned. Actually, I'm going to read you some of this because I hate reading to you guys over this, but I was reading this article and I was literally like screaming these words out loud. Could not believe what I was reading. So June 14th, this guy's name is David Daleiden. He was forced to pay a $194,000 fine. So, okay, so today was day one of the preliminary hearing for pro-life activist David Daleiden, kicked off Tuesday morning. That was today. Or no, it wasn't. Whatever. in the San Francisco Superior Court with testimony from an abortion technician, a third trimester abortionist, and vice president of the National Abortion Federation, who testified she doesn't know what a human tissue procurement company is or does. So they had published 11 undercover videos. I think they went to a, what's it called? Some kind of trade show. I have no idea what this trade show was, but he got video of these leaders of Planned Parenthood basically discussing how they harvest these organs and fetal tissues from fetuses and sell them for a profit. So Daleiden and his colleague Sandra Merritt face 14 criminal felony counts of eavesdropping and 1 count of conspiracy. It's like infuriating. It says this case marks the first time charges of eavesdropping have ever been made in California. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Kamala Harris actually sent people to this guy's place to toss his home, and basically it's like a scare tactic. They stole his computer, or I'm sorry, his camera and video equipment. So this guy went to the trade shows in a disguise and secretly recorded conversations with Planned Parenthood employees. So at this hearing the other day, a non-physician who performed surgical abortions for Planned Parenthood, Northern California, testified she regularly provided fetal tissue from abortions she did and heard of money exchanging with STEM Express. This is completely goes again. I mean, we need whistleblowers. What these people do is very important. The fact that this guy they're going after this guy in such a massive way is completely disgusting, and that he is suffering ramifications much worse than these people that are literally selling baby parts. And whatever you feel about that, also keep in mind that this company is funded by taxpayer money. So if this goes against everything that you believe in, it doesn't matter. You still have to pay for it. And these people are making a profit from it. So, okay, so this is a quote from Daleiden himself. He says, it's unconscionable for the Health and Human Services Department of a pro-life administration to be every month basically setting these abortion quotas. So Planned Parenthood, in each branch, they have quotas to meet because they need to harvest this fetal tissue and these organs. So think about the fact that when you go into a Planned Parenthood, they don't give you many options. That's not what they're in the business of. Planned Parenthood does not own a mammogram machine, contrary to popular opinion and what people will tell you. We have confirmation from some of the top people at Planned Parenthood testifying, saying that they don't do mammograms. They are in the business of selling fetal body parts. And when you go in there with questions and concerns about your pregnancy, guess what they are going to advocate you do? They are not there for you. They are there to make money. Anyway, this whole thing is gross. There are a couple different links down below. Sorry, I just got sidetracked. A couple links down below. Those videos are out there. I guess they showed a video at this hearing the other day that was supposedly completely just shocking and gross. They have actually on camera some of these things occurring. So it's gross. I don't really know what else to say about that, but it's important that we are paying attention. This is one of those things that we feel like, I know that when my friends and family and people that I talk to that don't pay attention to these things, if I were to just bring this up, say in casual conversation, they would not believe me. And it's that cognitive dissonance. It's just kind of like, it doesn't compute. People really honestly believe that if things were really that terrible, that somebody else would be doing something about it. And so they just won't believe it, or they'll be like, no, that can't be all of the story, or maybe there really are these benefits to doing that. It's like they'll think of a million different reasons why that's okay, but it really isn't. And so it's important for all of us to make sure that this stays in the public eye and that people understand what's going on here. Speaking of whistleblowers, so there was an interesting article by Neon Revolt that I also linked below that just came out about Zach Voorhees. Zach Voorhees was the Google whistleblower. He's the one I interviewed, very cool guy. And basically what they're talking about is that, let me preface this by saying, I think I mentioned before I got on the phone to do my actual official interview with Zach, I called him privately to get him kind of comfortable with me, to talk about what things he wanted to talk about, what he wanted to stay away from, because again, I think I told you guys I was feeling very protective of him, and because what he's doing is really important, and also he's really putting himself in danger. So I could kind of tell, let's see, how do I want to put this? I had questions about whether or not he knew what Q was, etc. But I could kind of tell by some of the people he followed, some of his past tweets, some of the terminology he used. I could just kind of tell that he at least knew what it was, and I had a kind of a private conversation with him, and I'll just say that I could understand why somebody would not want to be publicly a supporter of Q or a follower of Q, especially when you're putting yourself in that dangerous of a situation. So basically this Neon Revolt article is talking about how the day that Zach went public on Project Veritas, so keep in mind, he came out first on Project Veritas with his information, but he was shadowed. He was a silhouette, his voice was changed, and they didn't use his name, but then Google found out who he was anyway. They had him swatted. You guys remember the story. So then for his own safety, he had to come out publicly and show who he was. On the day that he went public on Project Veritas, he got a text message from a random number that said, "Do not worry, you have guardian angels watching over you, Q." So, was that Q or not? I don't know. We know that we've heard Q has said a million times, no outside comms, which means they're never going to talk to anybody. They're not going to talk to us outside of 8chan. But I believe this was when 8chan was down, for one thing. Two, I do think that this is kind of different. I agree that, you're not going to see an official Q board pop up on Facebook or a Q Twitter account that's going to be legitimate. Anybody claiming to be Q that isn't that official 8chan board where they have their own, what's it called? It's been so long since I've been on 8chan. You guys can help me out. They have their official little code up there that is verified. We know that it's them. Anything that's coming outside of that avenue is not Q. But this is kind of different. This is going towards one guy and offering, basically telling him that he did a great, basically saying you're going to be protected. And I could see why they would do that. It's not really giving him information. It's just giving him peace of mind. And I could see Q wanting to do that because they must have known how terrified this guy would be. So I don't know. I don't think that there's really any way to verify if it was actually Q or not, but I think that's really interesting. There was also a story, it's in the article that I linked from Neon Revolt, about, okay, so the original owner of 8chan, his name was Frederick Brennan. He sucks now. He basically is the reason that we've got headlines in the news saying that Jim Watkins is going to lie when he testifies, which, by the way, happened this morning, I think. Nobody knows because we couldn't watch it and there aren't any whatchamacallits from it. Anyway, he had this story about how when he was the original owner, I think, that sold to Jim Watkins in like 2016. And then he was saying that he lived in this guard-gated community and somebody showed up and put a Q on his door and it said like something positive on the back and they were like, oh, it's Q team. I don't know if that's true or not. And I don't necessarily like that guy anymore because he is absolutely doing irresponsible things as far as 8chan goes. He is not on the right side of this. 8chan is very much about our First Amendment, and anybody attacking 8chan is basically attacking the First Amendment, and I don't think it's cool for anybody to attack our constitutional rights. So that guy sucks, and I don't really remember. Oh, I think I just was bringing him up about the Q thing. But, you know, I don't know if it was Q or not. You know, we have been told just not to, there are no outside comms. Speaking of, be careful who you follow. I have another thing linked down below. It's actually a tweet. Shout out to, actually her Twitter handle is KBQ225. And that's who I found this through. It's the grandson of real estate magnate, is trending on Twitter for giving out $100,000, but it looks like a data harvesting scam. So I guess this guy is the grandson of Bill Pulte, Pulte. Pulte, I followed him on Twitter, and he was always kind of giving away money. And he would be like, oh, retweet this and make sure you're following me, and I'll send you like $50, or I'll pay off your phone bill, or I'll pay your rent for this month, or I'll send you whatever. He was just always giving away money. And I followed him just because I thought it was it was like a feel good thing. Like, oh, I'm watching these people, get something paid for them, and it's a wonderful day for them or whatever. And then he started doing it with vets, and I was like, okay, this is awesome. I love to see our vets getting, at least a tiny bit of what they deserve, so whatever. And so now I guess it's coming out that he was actually a data harvesting farm for, whatever. And there were links, I think it's Rosie Memos on Twitter. That account is really awesome. Was actually dug up some connections to, no, it wasn't that account, but there were some connections to Soros with this guy now, so that sucks. So if you follow him, I don't know if you want to do that anymore. I'll never tell anybody who to follow or who not to follow, but that's just a heads up. You might want to take a look at that down below. It kind of sucks too, because I think his grandfather was kind of a cool guy. And if he's doing this, there are also pictures of him with Jack from Twitter. So, I don't know. Speaking of that stuff too, Facebook groups. There are a couple Facebook groups now. Actually, pretty much every Facebook group that once upon a time started off as like a good place to get information for Q has become a total mess as far as I'm concerned. Other than, there are a couple Facebook groups like, for example, like Destroying the Illusion or The Journey to Truth, where we know who owns them, we know who runs those Facebook groups, and so we can pretty much trust that they're not going to let it go crazy in there. But some of these other Facebook accounts, I have no idea. Thank you, Justin. We don't know who runs them, and I've been seeing a lot of really questionable things in some of these Facebook groups, and one of them the other day put out a long list of who not to follow, and it was like every account that you pretty much want to follow. It was like every big name in Q. There were a couple on there that I don't like, but still, just that in itself is problematic. Don't ever let anybody tell you who to follow or who not to follow. On top of the fact that their entire reasoning, it's cool if like somebody gives you something to look at and be like, hey, I know you guys follow and trust this person, but this is what I found, and if you've got good information, that's awesome. Let people think for themselves, let them see what you have, and whatever. Basically what these people were doing was going through, finding anybody that made any kind of money off of what they do and saying that they were shills. So a couple things here. One is that Q had once upon a time said that to watch out for anybody that is profiteering off of the Q movement. That is not the same thing as profiting. Keep in mind that those are completely different words with different definitions. Look up what profiteering means. So, and we also know that he was highlighting Alex Jones, Jerome Corsai, Jack Posobiec, which, just an aside really fast, Q outed Jack Posobiec a year ago today, and today Jack Posobiec posted a tweet just basically like piecing off of Twitter, like saying, you know, it's been real, but I'm not going to tweet anymore, which is very interesting. So a year to the day, and he's gone. Anyway, Q had also said later on that, you know, that people kind of took that the wrong way. They kind of took it way too far from what Q meant, and that the bad people had already been outed. So people out there are still kind of in a frenzy. I still see a lot of people being like, no, this person makes money off of Q. Something very important that we all need to understand is that we've got two different kinds of groups within the Q movement, if you want to talk. I mean, we've got several. We've got the Q team, which is actually the one putting out the information. Then you have all of the Anons. These are the people that go onto 8chan and they get the information directly from Q. They go out and they search and they investigate and they find all of this amazing stuff. They put it all together. Sometimes they make infographics. Sometimes they make memes. They are really like the, they are the bakery, thank you, Jeff, where the bread gets baked. Then you've got some people, but they are all anonymous, right? They are all protected by their anonymity. And that is an important element too, because they could not do what they do if they were in danger of getting doxxed. But then you've got people that have made this their full-time job, and they are in the business of marketing that bread. They are in the business of getting that bread on every table, not just in America, but in the world. Those anonymous people, what they are doing is really important. And that is the first half. Like, they are doing a lot of the heavy lifting, maybe all of the heavy lifting, but then you also have people out there that need to get, most of us, most of you guys in here, me included, would not be here if it wasn't for some of these people out there who have taken it upon themselves to put their names and their faces out there, make this their full-time job, get this information out there. So we all understand that people have to be compensated for their time and their energy and their work. And it's not cool to make people pay for like QD codes or whatever, but you know, you guys are smart, you guys get it, but we do have a lot of people within like the community that's like, oh my gosh, you sold a t-shirt, then Q says that you're terrible and we shouldn't listen to you, and you're probably a shill that works for the CIA. So just beware of those kinds of groups. Uh-oh, did we have a troll? I'm gonna read some of these. Hi guys. Oh, the New Right Network is in here. That's a really great media source also. I recommend following them. They're on Twitter. We can clone now, so. All right, Wolfpack, chill out there, bro. We had a troll. I was in Ben and Rob's thing earlier, their live chat earlier, and somebody in there was, actually, he's in here now, was telling me how bad I suck and that I ride on Rob and Ben's coattails, and he's totally right. But that's besides the point. That's just how this works, you guys. That's just how this works. Yes, I'm riding on Rob and Ben's coattails, but it is because they have graciously placed me there. Just like I will help people along with them. It is 100% about getting this information out there. Nobody's trying to have glory here. I'm not trying to be the coolest of whatever I do. Believe me, I know what this is like. But yeah, I mean, it's just, we are all kind of, this is a team sport. We're all in this together. And those guys in particular are just, I mean, everybody I think in this community is everybody that's trying to get the word out. We all have each other's backs until somebody does something that's super questionable that makes us look at them, like take a second look at them. From my experience, everybody is there to support one another. So yeah, that's just how it works. And through this, we make friends with each other and we help each other. And also, one of the things that I think we need to be doing more is working together so that we're not all covering the same things. So some of us that are in contact with each other will be like, hey, you cover this, I'll cover this, and it's better for everybody because you guys don't have to listen to all of the information twice. We don't have to do work that other people are doing when other people are out there doing it and are gonna get it out to more people, yada, yada, yada. You guys get it. Thanks, guys. But isn't that interesting about Jack Posobiec? And I thought that was really funny. And good riddance. Preach! Oh. That's true. I see that. Yeah, that guy kind of always comes in here and talks about how much he hates women and whatever. If he doesn't, like, he doesn't bother me. If he's bothering you guys, you can delete him, but whatever. You all cover different things and expand upon each other's information. Yeah, exactly. And that's important to have right now because it's not easy to do. We're not even great at keeping coordinated for not going live at the same time, you know? Some people are super good at like keeping on a schedule and going live, you know, on this day at this time. But some of us have a little bit of harder time doing that, and so it's also like hard because we might go live at the same time. We just need more organization. That's what we need. We need, like, I don't know. I hate to say something corporate because isn't that everything we're fighting against? There was this other thing. I'm going to give you this. I'm just going to put it in the chat and then I'll add it to the thing down below. But this was something I found yesterday that I thought was interesting. Millionaire model agency boss and close friend of Jeffrey Epstein, who is thought to have information on the Epstein case, has, guess what, disappeared. So I'm going to give you guys this link so you can check that out. And then for those of you not watching this live, I'll put it down below so hopefully you can see it later. I actually didn't even read all of it. I just saw that and I was like, whoa, that's interesting. But also I'm seeing things every day. I mean, I could devote, you know, a couple minutes every week to even just the human trafficking arrests I'm seeing, or even the like sex abuse, like pedophile sex abuse stuff every day. It's there, you know, there are these cases coming out, but I do know that there are other people out there compiling them. So again, we need more organization. And if we could have one person who's just doing that perfectly, so that if anybody's ever like telling somebody like, no, listen, this stuff is going down here, look at this, you can take them to this specific channel that has all of that stuff. That would be really great. What's up, guys? We do need 8chan back. Okay, so that was the other thing, is that 8chan is still down. Does anybody know, did anybody hear anything from the supposed hearing today? Thank you, Big Hair Tsunami. Tonight I was watching for Robin Ben to spit a couple of green reptilian eggs into those glasses of water like Hillary did. The painting behind you was a Scottish kelp wearing a bagpiper last week. Mandela effect? Just kidding. Oh, wait, I just heard of another Mandela effect the other day. What was it? Oh, have you heard of Ghislaine Maxwell's sister history in big tech? Very interesting. Yeah, I did see something a little about that, but I didn't find that to put a link in there, but I did come across that in my travels this week. So yeah, today was the hearing. So we knew that 8chan wasn't going to come back until at least the congressional hearing? Whatever, with Jim Watkins testifying. And so I believe that happened today, although I was checking C-SPAN, it was not to be found. I don't believe that there are, what is the word that I'm trying to find? When they write down the transcripts, from it. I haven't seen anything. So if you guys come across anything, find that, I would love to, I'm just gonna do you a favor. There you go. Have a nice night. Amazing Polly did that story. Awesome. Okay, cool. Amazing Polly does awesome work. Again, like if Amazing Polly is out there working on something, I know I don't have to do that. because she's going to do a way better job at anything than I could do. So I wish we all had like a group chat or whatever to be like, hey, who's going to take this story? Who's going to take that one? 8chan will be back up next month. Thank you. Okay, cool. I really miss 8chan. It's been hard. It's been hard to find. It's been, everybody's looking for a place to gather and get all this information together. And there have been a couple times that something's going down. I'm like, oh my gosh, this would be the perfect time to go to 8chan and see what everybody's saying about it. Like the storm, the hurricanes stalling over the Bahamas for hours on end. Like, I know that there would have been weather people in there that was like, that would have like beep, boop, boop, beep. And they would have all this information for me. And yet here I am, flying blind, like most of us. The Mandela effect you were thinking of was with Tom Cruise, thank you, missing his sunglasses as he dances to old-time rock and roll and risky business. Thank you. That is exactly right. Were you the one that sent that to me? I can't remember. Thank you, Tracy. Yes, that's so crazy. That's so crazy. The Mandela effect is so fun. 8chan lawyer said site could be back as early as next week. Interesting. Hotep Jesus says it's for sure a weather weapon. I mean, it's gotta be something. And the speech that Trump gave, first of all, I don't think I've ever seen a president, let alone Trump, give a speech like that before a storm. It was really weird. And then his wording was really strange. Like some of the things I was picking up on, like he was, I don't know, he was very specific about things and it just seemed like he was speaking in code. I don't know if I'm just going crazy. But you hate the Mandela effect. Why? It's so fun. I have like personal Mandela effects in my life. I had this toy that I played with when I was little that I remember so specifically, and I could tell you every little detail about it. It was called Tubtown, and you couldn't get me out of the bathtub. It was this thing that like suction cupped to the wall, and it had like a barber shop and maybe like a bakery, just like it was a little town, and you had the little people, and I was just like a walking wrinkle when I was a child because I was just completely always soaking in the bathtub. But I've looked for it over and over again, and I can't find it anywhere. I've had friends looking for it. My mom has looked for it. Nobody can find it. So I don't know if that's a Mandela effect, but if somebody can find that, I'll be your best friend. Thanks, guys. President Trump tweets timestamps are usually a reference to Q drops. If POTUS tweets at 8:53, then look at Q drop, 8:53, and use the 1200 rule. So Q drop 2053 and 3253 also. Yeah, I will admit some of that stuff is way over my head. I do know the Q drop thing, but some of these, like the Q clock and all of that, starts to get very specific to me, and I know that we lose a lot of, not lose a lot of people, but I know that's hard for a lot of people to keep up with. Some people like me who are not that great with numbers. I was dreaming. Okay. I would totally pay for a way to see all the toys I can't find anymore. Yeah. Yeah, just super nostalgic. And I think because of that thing, still to this day, pool toys and like plastic toys is one of my favorite smells. Check out Red Pill 78, latest YouTube video on everything we're talking about. Cool. Yeah, actually they've come up a bunch. That's cool. I think they were even brought up in that the Neon Revolts article that I linked below. Is CERN causing these Mandela effects? I have no idea, but thank you, Johnny. Edge of Wonder put you on, but you're excellent. So yeah, thank you so much. I'm trying. Pool plastic smell. Yeah, like anything vinyl or just those, just pool toys. Yeah, man, that's like just childhood right there. Anywho, I think that was all I really had for you guys. Actually, you know what I could do while I have you guys here is I'm going to go through my bookmarks on Twitter really fast and just see if there's anything I missed, because I usually have some gems in there that I forget about. And it's also, I could do some shout outs to some good Twitter accounts. Look at George Webb's YouTube channel. Okay, thank you. I will do that. Solar flares cause the Mandela effect. Interesting. Play-Doh smells good too. Yeah, they changed Play-Doh. They also changed the taste of it. Don't ask me how I know that. Okay, so one good Twitter account, Say When LA. Say When LA. Wyatt. That was, he had one of the Planned Parenthood things that I posted below. We've got, went over that. Oh, we didn't talk at all about the climate summit that happened the other day where Joe Biden had a blowout of epic proportions, and I'm not talking about his diaper. I'm talking about his eye exploded on live TV. I don't know what that was about, but that was pretty interesting. We still have trolls. And then just a bunch of craziness. Like, these people just want to rule our lives. They want to have power over everything we say and do, whether it's our light bulbs or our straws or what we eat or, you know, what kind of cars we drive or what we set our thermostat at. These people just want to control, and they're not even trying to hide it anymore. And, you know, one woman actually got up and asked Bernie Sanders a question about, like, basically how the world is overpopulated and this is why we're destroying the planet, and what does he advocate, you know, does he advocate for, you know, basically just like genocide. He wants to fund abortions in developing countries so that he can shuttle back and forth between his 3 houses, and it's just, it's crazy, you guys. It's really nuts. Bloody Iden, good one. What do you think about what YouTube did to Dutch Sense? I don't know that one. Maybe Rob can shed some light on that, because I haven't heard of that. Yes. Oh yeah, there was that. That's interesting. Corey's Digs, that's another account that put out something that said must have tools for digging, videos, websites, and podcasts. That might be a cool thing to share with you guys. Just useful resources for, oops. You guys, I am the most pathetic computer user ever. But I'm getting you a link right now. Okay. I think I heard something about that account the other day, but I don't really know. What do you think why do you think Trump is supporting 5G? I don't know, but I don't think that it's necessarily what he, I think we went over this last time. I don't think he necessarily always does what he says. I think sometimes there's a reason that he says something that he's not going to go through with in order to call somebody else's bluff or look like he's playing ball. Look, if he knows that he can appear to be trying to meet somebody in the middle, this is smart for anybody to do. If you know that the people on the other side are never going to meet you in the middle, then you can pretend to give as much as you want, right? And so in a way, it's kind of him calling the bluff of these people who are never going to get anything done and be like, look, I tried to work with you guys. They will not work with him on any of that. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with 5G, but I've only heard him saying things. I haven't seen him making moves yet. So we'll keep an eye out for that. What species of caterpillar are your eyebrows? Well, thanks. You know, it's not easy being me. And I definitely know, like I told you guys in the beginning that, you know, I've had it very easy because everybody is so sweet, but definitely getting a little bit more of a pushback now, and I'm definitely noticing this. But we were prepared for this. Have you heard that the USA is slowly rolling out the social score system? I'm not going to buy in, like, until I see something that's completely confirmed in that, it is another one of those things that can be used as a scare tactic of, you know, I'll believe it when I see something that's a little bit more concrete, and then I'll worry about it. But there are always things going around like that. Touches the authority on truth related to earthquake. Oh, earthquake tracking and prediction. Oh, interesting. That's cool. I really do like seeing. Well, I hate seeing the stuff coming out of Hong Kong because it's sad, but it's very hopeful seeing them, you know, waving the American flag and singing the national anthem, and you know, it should make us appreciate what we have here in the United States, to realize that these people are after the freedoms, the constitutional freedoms that we have, and I hope they get them. And I see that they're making a little bit of progress. I know that they have quite a distance to go still. The trolls are super weird today. Life is super weird today. Like, for the last couple weeks have just been so weird. Everybody is losing their damn minds. It's probably a good time for me to go out of town. Various private contractors are hired to infiltrate chats, and some people are just a-holes also. So there's that. That's very true. Yeah, you just gotta know that some people are just there to, who knows? Kate, coloring your hair is a form of misinformation. No, be yourself no matter what. No, I'm ugly. Yes, Dutch is getting picked on because, of his accuracy. They want to silence him. He's receiving threats. Well, that sucks. Is his channel still down? Sun and moon going off. Exactly. Hong Kongers don't have the Second Amendment to defend their rights. Exactly. Exactly. Look at what happened historically to people to societies that get disarmed. So we should always keep that in mind. Give the trolls a hammer. Yeah, okay, so this is what I was going through. Oh yeah, then there was the California governor that signed legislation that basically said that you no longer have to help a cop. If, like, you're an able-bodied person that's standing there while, you know, a cop is struggling with somebody, or like their life is in danger and there's something that you can do about it, you are no longer required to help. It's so crazy. Wiener's laptop is missing, but Robin Ben already went over that. Schumann resonance is going off. I literally need a t-shirt that says that. It's been going crazy for like at least a year. But I still follow it. They have a Twitter account. And every time I see it, I'm like, damn. Meanwhile, in Texas, we can now carry guns to church. Good. Yeah, Walmart now and now CVS are saying that you can't carry guns inside their stores. So, you know, Walmart just wants to make sure that everyone is like a super soft target. I would help a cop if he or she was in need. I would too. There was actually a really funny video that went around, God, it must have been like 3 years ago now, of a guy with a cane, and he sees this other guy running with a gun, and he sees the cops coming after him, and he trips him. I think he trips him with his leg, or does he trip him with his cane? Either way, it's so badass and awesome. I shared that with everybody. I loved that video. The moon was super bright this afternoon. I'm low vision blind. Can anyone else see that it was daylight? Thanks, you guys. Yeah, Walmart still sells guns, but I believe they won't sell ammunition. There was actually a really great quote by Joe Biden this week saying that we need to get rid of guns that hold multiple bullets. multiple bullets. So you only get one bullet. Sorry, guys. There's a video that I think everybody in the world needs to see, that I just watched recently, and it's so simple, but it's like when you see it, it for some reason it should just connect something in your brain. And it's like 7 or 8, kind of not up and up looking dudes with weapons, holding weapons, breaking a front door down and trying to get in. And I don't know what they're trying to do or in there or who's in there, if there's anybody in there. But I think about myself as a woman who, if that happened, if I had 8 dudes coming in my door at the same time, what am I going to do about that? Honestly. Call the police and wait for 35 minutes? I once got to my sister's apartment and somebody had like broken in, and so we luckily saw it when we were going in the front door. Like the door had obviously been tampered with, so we called the police and waited for like 47 minutes before they got there. What would have happened if we went in, they were still in there, if we didn't like see the tampering with the door? That's all you need to know when it comes to why somebody should have the right to protect themselves, is because stuff like that happens. Walmart was harassing people who bought 22 ammo a few years ago. Walmart can, frankly, suck it, right? We don't need to shop at Walmart. They've ruined like small businesses and nobody needs Walmart. We don't need their Chinese-made crap-a-moly. I will admit, I bought a really awful t-shirt there one time. I may or may not still wear that to bed. It's really obnoxious, but you know what? I'd give it up in a heartbeat because I don't support them or what they are doing, what they stand for at all. God. New physics principles, weapons, research these. Many different types of weapons. You'll see why the skies are like they seem like a plasma globe in the sky. It's weather wars. Yeah, guys. Then there is that, this was actually something I saw a while ago, but I saw it again today, so I'll mention it. The girl, what is the little girl's name? She's 16, but she looks like she's 12, and she's the one that's like sailing around the world to promote why we need globalism to like battle climate change or whatever. And I feel bad because this is a child, and it also is exactly why she is being put in this position, because you can't attack the things that she's saying because she's a child. But they are giving this little girl a platform, and to, she's basically like David Hogg #2, only David Hogg was at least an adult. I mean, has been an adult for a while. I don't know, even though he looked like he was like 24 when he was supposedly 16. Anyway, so we've got this girl now being kind of thrust into the spotlight. They're making her the face of, I'll call it globalism. And so these pictures were circulating of her wearing an Antifa shirt. So it's like, yeah, no duh. Oh, I'll give you guys the link to that just so. This is the incarnated ET Twitter, which is another really good one to follow if you guys don't already. Yes, another New World Order puppet in Deedly Doodly. Then we had, I keep just thinking of things that I came across, but AOC was basically trying to raise money for Antifa for their bail because they showed up to some rally, they all got arrested. But there were people that were there that said they got arrested because, there was their right to assemble ended at like 4 o'clock. They weren't allowed to be there anymore. Then they started getting in cops' faces and like bumping up against them and calling them pigs and the KKK. So they got arrested. So AOC was tweeting out a link to some like fundraiser to pay for their bail. Yeah. That was a good one. Yeah, she's awful. Oh, that was scary. I just opened that. And then meanwhile, we've got San Francisco basically labeling the NRA a terrorist organization. But we're going to bail out Antifa. It cray. And you don't have to help the cops when you see them being harassed. Totally normal. Went over that. Went over that. Went over that. Oh, there was some boat thing. I don't really get this. But there was a boat that like caught fire, and I remember people looking at it being like, okay, what's the real story here? This is going to end up being something important. Somebody important is going to end up being on a boat. And then today it comes out that Apple engineer Steve Salika, employee of 30 years, was on that boat. You guys want that link? I'll give it to you. Why not? Why not? I'm probably gonna have to scoot in a little bit because I still have to pack. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to hop on here and go live while I am away. That would be cool. But if not, I'll be back in 9 days. I think I will be. I'll at least be able to check in. But I'll definitely be on my Twitter, so that's a good place to get these links. You know, if I can't go live, at least I can share the stuff that I'm finding with you on there. Kate_awakening. The police radio said the captain left the ship while the passengers were trapped. Yikes. Kate, how do you feel about UFOs? I'm for them. I don't know. I've had my own experiences. I've seen things. I believe that there are UFOs that are both of this world and not. So that's my opinion on that. Poops ahoy. Thank you for the contribution, Rob. Boat thing is weird because of the prior boat accident sentencing that came out at almost the same time. I am going, I'll tell you guys where when I get back, I'll tell you guys where I went. I feel weird about telling you guys where I'm going to be, you know, not you guys. You guys are cool, but you know, you guys understand. I don't remember what sleep is. Neither do I really, actually, lately. Lately, I have not been sleeping very well. Usually I'm a very good sleeper. All right, guys. Well, yes, I agree with you, Jeff. I saw that. I know what you're talking about. And I agree with you. Yeah, that's all I've got for you guys. So, again, check in with me on Twitter and I'll let you know if I'm gonna go live. Maybe I'll be able to post it on my Instagram and my Twitter and let you guys know ahead of time. Although, you know, I never do that. And I always say I'm going to. So thank you guys so much for being here, even the trolls. And I love you very much. All right, bye guys.